Hello everybody. In this screencast we're going to look at building our first application, Android application, and basically we have this in-class assignment where it's a single screen application where the user enters a ticket price, and then let's say they enter 100, and then when they say I would like to calculate what's a 5% discount, what's the price after a 5% discount, and it shows you that the discount is 5%, and then basically it calculates the price after the 5% discount. And basically also these are all buttons, and then at the bottom here there is a clear button. When you click on it, it clears it, brings it back to this state. All right, so looking at these layouts, I have buttons, I have labels or text fields here, and here is an edit text, a place where you can enter text. So let's see how we can build it. So go back here, and you could see here that it shows use the hint attribute. Okay, good. So basically you could see here that in the ticket price, inside this edit text, it shows this text enter ticket price, right? This is called the hint. All right, so let's see how we're going to build this. All right, so this is what the application should look like. All right, so we go in, open Android Studio. So I updated Android Studio to use the electric eel, 2022.1.1. That's what I'm using now. I'll create a new project. Here's a new project, and basically when you pick your project, we'll pick the empty activity version, and then we click on next. And now it asks you what language. I'm going to use Java. Where are you going? What's the name of the application? I'll call it in class 02, just to be consistent. I'll make the minimum SDK 24. This means that this application can run on devices that the minimum device version is going to be API 24 or Android Nougat, which is 7.0. And I just click on make sure to know where it's going to be stored. It's going to be stored under my desktop under a folder called in class 02. All right, click on finish, and it basically creates here it is. It basically creates the project for me. It takes a little bit of time for things to happen. While it's doing that, let me just change the font size so that you guys could see what I'm trying to do here. Font. You don't have to do this. I'm just trying to change the font size. Here's the font. Let me just make it a little bit bigger. Let's see. Apply this one, and then let's see if I can get font again. Editor font. We changed this one already. Okay, so the text looks a little bit bigger. All right, so we wait until it's building. It's creating the project. While it's doing that, I'm just trying to see if I can change the font here. Okay. Maybe it's under appearance. There's appearance. Here's the custom font size. Let's make it 20. Apply, and okay, a little bit bigger. All right. Okay, good. So this is what happens: is it creates a project. It brings in all the libraries that are required for that project to run. Now, for me, in order to run this project, I need to see here. It comes in. There's a main activity. So if you look at the code here, this is the main activity, which is the activity. This is the first screen that's going to run. It's called an activity, right? Now, also make sure that you have follow the video that shows you how to create a device. So basically, I have several devices that I created. You just create a device and follow the wizard. I'll run device which I have already, which is device 30. That's the one that I'm going to run the application on. Now, when I click on play, it should run the application. You just wait a little bit. It's going to build, and then it's going to run the application. All right, so wait a little bit. It should run the application. Now, in the meanwhile, what we could do is we could go into the resource folder under layouts. There is the main activity, activity underscore main. That's where I'm going to build my layout. So while it's building this, I don't need to, I'll wait until it runs. So here is the first application. It's running. There's nothing in it, Okay, so I'll minimize my emulator. Now, this is the design window, or the layout inspector, this is the layout design window that I could use here. Now, how do you get here? You go to resources, layout, you double click, it opens up here. Okay. Now, if you look, there is this blue side. Now, if you click here, it's the blueprint side. I'm not interested in the blueprint side. I'll just look at the design side. So this is the design side. And if you look at the emulator again, you see there is hello world, right? This is where the hello world is, right? Now, if you look, I deleted it. I just clicked on it and then deleted it. Okay. And this is a constraint layout. This means that the root layout is a constraint layout. And what I'm interested in building is when we're using constraint layout, usually you start from the top and then go all the way to the bottom. So basically from the top, there is ticket price, right? So I know that there will be these labels. So what I could do is I go to values, strings. These are all the strings that I'm going to use. And basically I can create some strings. So I know that I have some of these strings. Let me just organize the screen a little bit so that I could see what I'm trying to build here. Okay. Maybe I'll bring this a little bit to the side here. Okay, good. So now what I need to do is I'll create another string. I'll call it, for example, ticket price, and then the value is going to be ticket price. Okay, so that's this one and colon. So that's going to represent this, right? So that's one, and then basically also I have ticket price hint, right? So here's the ticket price hint. The name of these strings cannot have spaces. Okay, so the name, this name cannot have spaces because they at the end of the day change into variables. They're automatically changed into variables. Enter ticket price. So that's what's going to be the hint. There it is. Okay, so I have these two texts. Now I have discount percentage. So I'm going to do this here. Okay, discount percentage, and this is going to be my discount percentage. Discount percentage. All right, here it is. And then similarly, I'm going to copy this from here, put this here, and basically discount price. All right, so this is going to be discounted price. So I'm just matching whatever I'm seeing here. And then similarly, I have the other ones, which is this is the discount 5%. That's going to be the first button label. So this is 5% discount. Okay, so I have this one, and then similarly the other ones. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the clear. All right, so the first one is 5, then 10, then 15, and 20, and 50. Okay, so 5, okay, 10, 15, 20, 50%, and then this is going to be the clear. Okay, clear and clear. All right, so basically I already have all the text that I'm going to use in the application, and you can see here that I have all the labels that I'm going to use, and all the text that I'm going to use, I have it in the string.xml. All right, so let me go back to the layout, right? And now I would like to build this layout. So basically, if you look here, there is a text view, and then beside it there is an edit text. So I'm going to do that. So basically, I'm going to drag and drop a text view, okay? And then you see these circular corners, right? These allow you to say, okay, I want this the top of it to go to the top. So I'm not going to specify the top for the time being, but these are constraints, right? Now, also, I would like to use an edit text. So to do that, I click on the search, I type edit text, and then you see here there are all types of edit texts. So now I would like a number that is decimal. You see here, this is the type of the edit text. I can drag and drop. And now what I could do is I want this edit text to go all the way to the right side and all the way to the top. Okay. So now the ticket, this is the edit text that I'm using. Now what I would like to do is maybe this text field, I want it to go to the right. So basically it's anchored to the right, and I want the edge of this to go here. So basically you could see that I have forced the edit text to go to the end of this text field, right? Now you could see that I would like it to occupy the whole screen, I click on, you see here the layout width is wrap content. Now if you click on this once and then twice, it gives it a zero width. Zero width means it occupies the whole space that it could occupy based on the constraints that we have. It's very much stuck to this text. I could go here, give it a little bit of a margin, and you can see here there is a little bit of space between them, right? Again, you see here the edit text is all the way to the top. Maybe we can give it a little bit of a top margin, right? Maybe we give it a side margin also, you see here. So that's the edit text. And now this guy has one constraint which is going this way. Now what we could do is we could make the top of it be the top of the edit text, and then the bottom of it to be the bottom of the edit text, and that enables us to center it, you see. And now what is this text field? This is going to be ticket price. So now if we go click on the, maybe give it a little bit of a margin, here it is, okay. Now if we scroll a little bit here and look at the attributes, you see these are the common attributes. This is the text what's being displayed here. If you click on this button on the side, okay, now what I would like it to display is the ticket price. I select it and I click OK, and then basically what it's going to do is the ticket price. You see here now I have the ticket price, I have the ticket price here. The edit text has a parameter called hint. If you click here, and in the hint I want it to be ticket price hint, and I click OK, and now you can see here it says enter ticket price. Notice that this is only the hint, it's not the value. If you type in some text here, it's going to override the value, right? So basically this is just a hint, okay, cool. So now this is the first one. Now the second one is another text view that I'm going to add, which is going to hold the discount percentage. So basically I would like to have two text views. So if you look here, there are two. There is one that has the label and the other one that has actually the value, right? So we'll get back to this. So what I'm going to do is, let's do this. So I anchored it to the side here, and maybe I put it under the edit text because it's a little bit bigger, and then maybe we give it a little bit of a margin, and that becomes the first edit text. The first one is discounted percentage, same story. I pick the edit text, maybe give it a little bit of a margin to be consistent with the one at the top, and then basically the text is going to be discount percentage. So I'm looking for discount percentage. So if you scroll down a little bit here, and this is the discount percentage string, and so on. Okay, so I have the discount percentage. Similarly, I'm going to add the other one, the other label. So here's the other label, which is going to be the discounted price. So I'll do the same thing. So I see I dragged it to be all the way to the right here. I could make it to the edge of this one, so that because I know they're going to be, I want them to align the same way. And if you go here, you see they are aligned the same way. Now let's give it a little bit of a margin. There's the 7, and then basically this one is going to be discounted price. So if you scroll down a little bit, discounted price, and here we are. Okay, so now what if I would like it to match this? You see here it goes all the way to the side. So what I could do is I could make this guy go here, right? So I can make it go to the end of okay, let's see. So I could make it go to the end of this one. Okay, so I could remove the constraint. You see here there's a constraint here. Let me just make this guy here, make it all the way to 8. Now I could remove I could remove this constraint, and I could make this guy go to the end of here. And you can see that now the discount, you see the discount percentage, or the discounted percentage, maybe I need to change the text, but anyhow, the discount percentage goes here and the discounted price is here. Okay, so you can see that I can control that. Now I need a text view that I can add here, and another text view that I'm going to add here, and then these text views are, this one is going to go all the way here, and its top is this, and then I want it to go to the side of this guy, and similarly this one is on the side here, and its top is here, and its end is here. Okay, and then basically maybe give it a little bit of a side margin, and then click once, click twice, takes the whole screen. I give it a little bit of a margin also on the side, and then similarly I can click here, get it a little bit of a margin on the side here and on the side here. So basically these are going to be these values, right? I want them to be left aligned. So what I could do is I can click, they are automatically left aligned. I can change the alignment. If you look at all the attributes, scroll down a little bit, and you will see that you can also control the alignment. You know, if you scroll down a little bit here, you should see it. Text style, and there is an alignment, so you can find that it's straightforward. Yeah. If you scroll down a little bit, you can also search, I think. Let's see if I can search align. You see here, text alignment. You see, you can make it left, center, and so on, right? So yeah, you can look at that if you want. Okay, so anyhow, they are left aligned by default, right? So I can make them center. If you scroll down a little bit, if you look at text appearance, you see here you can make it text alignment. You see, I can make it centered, make it left. That's the default, right? Similarly here, it's the default is left aligned. Click here, that's the default anyway. So anyway, these are left aligned now, right? Okay, good. So now when we start, they are empty. You know, I can remove them. Now we'll come back to that. But now if I run this, let me see, does it look okay? So when I run it and I look at my emulator, and here it is. I have the ticket price, I have enter ticket, I have these fields, the discount percentage, and I have these text views. I can remove these text views. You know, I can remove whatever text is in there. So I go here, I just remove the text, and boom, nothing is being displayed. And then similarly here also nothing is being displayed. Now this one is going to be the discount percentage. So basically text view. When I go here and I click on this, I call it discount percentage. Here it is. This is the discount percentage. I'm calling these, giving them IDs because I'm going to use them. And then this is the discounted price. All right, so here it is. So I have give them some IDs. The IDs cannot have spaces. These are going to be variables at the end of the day. Okay, so I have these two. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 buttons that I need to add. So here is drag, drop, and then this is the first button. Here it is, and basically it's under here. Give it a little bit of a margin. Similarly, 1, 2, and 1, and 2. So I have the first button. And similarly, you can add the other buttons. So you can add 1, okay, 2, and 3, 4, and 5. So basically, I have added some buttons. Why did it go away? Let's see. Maybe I could look at the code. Sometimes it just goes crazy, you know. So now let me remove some of them and go back to the design screen, and here they are. So now I know that this button is going to be under this button, and then I put this edge here and then make this edge here. 1, 2, give it a little bit of a margin. The second button, here's the third button. Sometimes when you have too many constraints that are not satisfied, it just goes crazy. So here it is, and then 1, 2, little bit of a margin. So here is 1, 2, 3, and then I add another button, and then similarly this button is aligned like this, aligns all the way here and aligns to the edge here, and then 1 and 2, and give it a bit of a margin. Here it is, 1, 2, 3. Maybe this guy gave it a little bit of a higher margin. Here it is. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Add another button and another button. So basically I have these. So basically this one goes here and here and here. Similarly this guy goes here and it goes here and here. So now click here and then 1, 2. Similarly here 1 and 2, 8, and a margin of 8. So I have all the buttons already aligned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons. This is the first button, the text that appears. Okay, so the text that appears are, I don't want it to be button. The first one is going to be the 5%. So here is the where is the 5% one? This is the 5%. This is 5% discount. Let's go back to the strings. We have 10%. This one is 10%. Okay. Go back again to the layout. This is the 5%, and then similarly this one is going to be the 10%, and then this one is going to be the 15. Okay, 15, and then this one is going to be the 20%, and then we have the 50%, and then this one is the clear, right? So basically here's the clear. You can also do this through the code. You see here for each button, if you do the split, it shows you your code. Now if we look here and it shows you your code. The split shows you your code, and if you click on one of them, it takes you, or if you click here, it tells you which one is it. And you could see that it has attributes. This is an XML element that has some attributes, and one of the attributes is the text. @string is to signify one of the strings, and then the ID of the string. All right. Similarly, the clear and the ID of the clear. Anyhow, so we go back to the design. Now we need to give these guys some IDs, right? So basically here, button, we could call it the 5, okay, 5%. Okay, so that could be, let me copy percent here. Okay, so that's the 5% button. Okay, it's a good idea to change it like this, because now this also refactors it, because the button ID is used for the constraints, right? Okay. So now this one, and then similarly 15%, here it is, second one here. And then similarly here I have the 20% button, here is that, and then I have the 50% button. Okay, here's the 50% button, here we are. And then this one is the clear button, so button, I'll call it button clear. Alright, so I have these layout done. If I run it, let's see what happens when I run it. Do I get something that looks okay? All right, there it is. And I have the buttons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the buttons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Now, so let me go back to my code, right? Before I go to the code, I'm just going to go here and copy this. Control A, Control C. I just copied all the variables, right? Okay. I'll show you why I like to do that, you know. In the main activity, now I ask myself, which of these I need access to, you know, in my code. I need access to this to know what the user has entered. I need access to this text view so that I can change the value based on what the user picks. I also need this so that when my end result needs to show up here. And I need access to these buttons so I can set up the button parameters, right? Or the event handlers for the buttons, right? Okay, so I'm not going to set up the event handlers for the buttons first. I'm just going to get access to these components, right? The percentage, the discounted price, and the ticket price that they use. Okay, so basically, if you go back to your layout, okay, so now I know that there is the ticket price. Now its ID is this. I'll copy it, right? So I know that this is going to be an edit text. Okay, so I know I need an access to an edit text, and the name of it is this. Okay, I use the same ID. Okay, that's this, and then similarly, I also want access to this text field. This is a text field. You see here, it's a text view, right? So if you go back here, I know a text view, and here is a text view, right? Long names, but they are very descriptive. And similarly, this one is the discounted price. Okay, copy that. Text view, and this is my discounted price. So I have these variables. Now, after the layout is inflated, so basically the onCreate gets called, the set content view sets it to this layout. The layout is this layout. You see the names match. Now I could go in and say, okay, edit text. I want the edit text from the layout, edit text number decimal equals find view by ID r.id.edit text number decimal. So basically, you see here, this is the ID that we specified in the layout. It ends up being a variable. Okay. Now I also have the text view, discounted discount percentage equals find view by ID r.id.text view text view discounted percentage, right? And then similarly, text view discounted price equals find view by ID r.id.text view discounted price. All right, so cool. So I have these variables, so I have access to them, right? So I have access to these components. You know, I did grab them from the layout by using find view by ID, right? And now I would like to do what? So basically, when the user clicks, let's handle just one of them, right? So basically, let me just handle clicking on the 5%, or maybe clicking on the clear, right? So let's say when you click clear, what do you want to do? Okay, so I need to do find view by ID r.id.button clear, right? When you clear, I'll do set on click listener, new on click listener. So basically, this enables me to create the on click listener. And you can see I did not type much. All I did is I went here, I say set on click listener, new, and then I press enter. It creates it implements the interface for me automatically. So now when you click clear, we want to bring back the layout to whatever it was. So basically I need to clear this, clear this, and clear this. You know, I want to clear the 5%, clear this, and so on, right? In order to do that, I already have the edit text. So I say edit text dot set text to nothing. So that clears it. And then the text view, decimal price, set text to nothing also. And then the text view, the percentage dot set text to nothing. So basically that's how I clear, right? So the clear is done, right? So now I'm able to clear, right? Now what about the 5%? What happens when you click on the 5%? So I'll say find view by ID r.id dot text, sorry, this is button, the 5% button, right? Dot set on click listener, new on click listener. So what I would like to do, I'll just do a log d, right? I just typed log d and tab, right? And then it requires a tag. So I could just define the tag at the top here because I'm going to use it. So what I could do is public static final string, and that could be, for example, tag, and I call it demo, right? So that's going to be my tag, right? So here is the tag. Okay, now I could say this is on click. So now let me run it and see. So when I click on the discount, you see I'm getting on clicks being shown here, right? So I can look at and I could do demo, right? Here it is, demo, right? And then I could, okay, so I'm getting my on clicks, you see here. Okay, good. So now when you click on that button, this happens, right? So now what I'm going to do, I just need to do what? One, I need to get a ticket price, right? To make sure that there is a ticket price, right? But the user might not have entered anything, right? So now I need to get the ticket price. So first of all, get the ticket price, right? And then I know that the discount is I know that the discount is 5% because you clicked on this, right? Then I need to calculate the discount, right? Straightforward, right? So now to get the ticket price, so now what I need to do to get the ticket price, I need to go in and get the text that the user has entered from the edit text, and then I try to change it into a double, for example. Okay, so now what I will do is I will do this. To get that text, you just say edit text dot get text dot to string. So that gets you the text. Okay, so now I could do, this is string, this is entered amount, okay, equals this. Okay, cool. So that's this. Now what if I want to change it into a double? So basically I'll do double dot value of, and I pass it the entered amount. Now the problem with this is that what happens when the user doesn't enter anything? We'll see. So this returns a double, so this is double, and this is the amount equals this. Okay, so now I have the amount, right? So let's say I log d on the amount. Okay, I'm just gonna print out the amount that I received. So I click it again, run the app. When you click on, let's say the user went in here and the user entered, like, let's say 100, okay, 0.9, okay, and I click on the discount, you see here I'm getting 100.9. Cool. So that's the first on click. So I'm just, let me remove this, we don't need this, but I'm showing you that I'm able to get the amount. But then what happens when the user doesn't enter an amount and I click on 5%? The app crashes. Why? Because of the number format exception. When you try to change an empty string or a string that's not a number into a double, it causes a number format exception. So to handle this situation, I could do try, okay, and catch, and then the number format exception, right? I can do something like this. I already got the exception from the log, and then I could do that stuff here. So basically this stuff is here. If you hit the catch, this means that it is an invalid number, right? So basically if you hit the catch, this means that this is an invalid number, right? Invalid number, right? So basically the user needs to enter a valid number, right? So basically I could tell them that, hey, enter a valid number. So now let's run this and see. Here we are. Now when you click the 5%, let's look at the logcat. Now if you click the 5%, see here, I know that this is an invalid number because it triggered that exception, and I'm catching this exception. It tells me that it's invalid number. Now if you are here, this means it's a valid number. Let's say we go here and type 100. or 1000, and I click here and it says see 1000. This is the part which is executing, and we're good. So now I have the number, I have the amount. Now I can calculate, for example, the double the discounted price. Okay, discounted price equals 0.95 times the amount, right? So that becomes my this becomes my discounted price. And then basically all what I can do here is I have an amount, I have the discounted price, right? And then basically now I just need to change I need to change this to show the percentage, and then this one to show the price, the amount, okay, or the discounted price. Okay, so now what I could do is I already have these text fields. Okay, so I have the text discounted percentage dot set text string dot value of, and I'm going to pass it the 5%. So I'm going to say, or I just need to not to do all of that. This is the discounted percentage, this is the percentage, and I could just say 5%. Okay, that's basically what this number is going to show, 5%. And then similarly this number is just the discounted price. So then the discounted price is text field dot discounted price dot set text string dot value of, and then this becomes the discounted price. All right, so I can do something like that. I change the discounted price into a string, and then I set it to this. Okay, so basically this should work. Now if I run this for the 5%, right, here it is, you click on the 5%, this is an invalid number. So what I could do, I could show a toast, right? I could do toast, and I see I just typed toast and I picked this one, and then basically I'll type here enter valid number, enter a valid number, right? Okay, and I'll remove this from here, and I'm gonna run it again, and I click on the 5% and it says enter valid number. All right, so we have the toast, right? So we did all of these steps. Now if there's a problem, we do this. Now what if I type 100? Okay, and I click on 5%, and now it's showing this. Okay, 5%, and then 95.0. Now I click on clear, clears everything. Click on 5%, it's not happy, right? Because I need to enter some value. I click on discount, and it shows me it's a 5% discount, 9.5, and so on. Okay, so now I know that I'm done with the 5%. So now what do I do for the other ones? Do I just cut and paste and change this number? It's going to repeat. You know, I'm going to repeat myself again and again and again for each one of them, right? So now what I could do is just take this and think of creating a method. And then this method, I'm going to call it a private void. I'm going to show, or I'm going to call it show, calculate, and show discount. Okay, so basically that's it. And then basically what I need to send it is maybe the discount percentage, double, maybe the amount, right, how much the total amount is. And then similarly I also want to send it the double the discount, right, the discount itself. Is it 5% discount, 10%, and so on, right? So okay, cool. So then what is going to happen is going to be very, very similar, or even I could send it the amount as string. I can do that and then do all the stuff here. So basically I could do the entered amount, right, as a string. So basically this is the or it goes and gets the entered amount. So I don't need the amount, I just need the discount. You know, it can go and do all of that stuff. Just need to know what's the discount, you know. And then what it does this. So I'm going to cut this from here. I'm going to cut whatever code we had here and paste it here, right? Basically, it's going to get the discount percentage. It goes in and finds out what's the entered value, does all of that stuff, and then the discount is going to be, so basically I just need to set up the discount. So basically this one is going to be string.value of the discount, and then concatenated with the percentage, right? So now I have the discount, okay? Now the discounted price is going to be what? I just need to do a little bit of math here. So basically it's going to be 1.0 or 100, okay, minus the discount, right? And then all of this divided by 100.0, right? Because I need to just calculate how much is the value, right? So basically I get 100 minus the discount, and then divided by 100 to get me how much is the discounted price, and then multiplied by the amount gives me the discounted price. So I just did a little bit of math, but at the end of the day it's just exactly the same code, right? So basically here it is. Now, how do I call it? I'm just going to say calculate discount, and then this is going to be 5.0, right? So basically this is for the 5% case, right? And then similarly, I just need to do the same thing for the other buttons. So I can do it this way. This is for the 5%, and then similarly for the 10% is going to be, instead of 5, it's going to be 10. And then we have a 15% one. Here's the 15% button. Okay. And so this is the 15% button. Here is the 15%. And then we have a button which we called 20. Right here is the 20% one. And similarly, here is 20. And then we have a 50% button. We have a 50% button. And in this case, it's 50. All right. So basically, all what I did is I'm just calling this show and calculate function. Whenever you click any of these buttons, I set up a handler for each one of them, and then all what they're doing is just calling the same function but with a different percentage. All right. Okay. So now let's run this again and see if this works. Okay, here we are. Here's the app. Make it a little bit bigger. Now, if I don't enter anything and I click, it says enter a valid number. If I click on 50%, also the same story. All of them are wired to the same function. Now let's type 100, right? And I click on 5% on 100, it works. 10% on 100, it works. 15, 20, and 50, right? You can see that this is working well, and so on. So we see that we just have to think about how we implement this. This is one approach, is we create a handler for each one of them. We can also create the handler at the activity level, but then we will have to differentiate which one gets clicked. But anyway, I think this is the easiest way, and I did use a method to finalize how we do the math. Basically, here we are getting the value that user has entered. Here we are changing that value into a double. It's a string. We change it into a double, and you have to be careful whenever you do that because it could cause an exception. And similarly, after we get an amount, we calculate the discounted price, which is 100 minus the discount, and then divide by 100, and then you multiply it by the amount. And then once you are done, you have your discounted price, which we change into a string. It's a double, we change it to a string. And then similarly also, we take the discount, we change it to a string, and then we concatenate to it a percentage, and then we're good to go. So that's the assignment. It shows you how to handle clicks, button clicks. You also have to think about when things happen, what triggers a change. And basically in this assignment, the only thing that triggers a change is just clicking on these buttons. All right, so please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.